Carwyn Group UKIP.
Leader of the UKIP Group, Neil Hamilton.
First Minister will know that the Ford Motor Company recently cancelled a £1.6 billion proposed investment in Mexico and decided instead to increase investment in its plant in Michigan by $700 million. This is partly, they say, a vote of confidence in the Trump administration's policy. 1,850 jobs in Ford in Bridgend depend upon that company, despite their decision to slash a proposed investment by nearly £100 million last September. Does the First Minister think that those jobs are rendered more secure by his insulting call to cancel the proposed invitation to President Trump to make a state visit to the United Kingdom?
Well, if he wishes to be... Well, I may remind the Ford Motor Company has condemned Donald Trump's comments over the weekend. Nobody's seen that, but they have done that. We all see the chaos that has resulted in America. It's for him to act as an advocate for the US government, not for me. But what I can say to him is the greatest threat to the Ford engine plant is the possibility of a barrier between it and its only customer in Germany. It exports every single engine that it makes. If there are barriers in place between that engine plant and Germany, Ford will be tempted over the years to shift their production to Craiova in Romania or to other plants in Europe. I want Ford to be on a level playing field with those other plants and not be put in a position of weakness.
My point is the importance of continued prospering trade relationship with the United States, which will to an extent depend upon having a positive relationship with the United States government. Now, I appreciate that there will be different views around the Chamber on the domestic policies of the United States government and indeed President Trump's apparent views on world trade. But given that the United States is Wales's biggest individual nation trading partner, we exported £2,664 million worth of exports to that country to June 2016. That's 22% of all the exports from Wales. Is it not vitally important that we should be as positive towards President Trump in our international relations and therefore welcome a state visit from him later this year?
Well, first of all, it is right that we engage the US government. I'll be in America at the end of next month, as I am, at Capitol Hill, hosting a reception, working with the Congress, with the caucus of the Welsh caucus of Congress members as well, and I'll keep on doing that. But it was Theresa May herself who said that we should speak frankly to friends. She has not done that. She has not done that, and I think it's hugely important that that these points are made. The phrase that I've used is I think it's very difficult to imagine a successful state visit at the moment, given all the controversy. I'm also surprised at the timing of this. Bill Clinton never had a state visit, nor to my knowledge did George Bush, nor did Ronald Reagan. Two other presidents had state visits, but at least 2 years after they became president. So it's a strange. The timing is strange, I have to say. I don't criticise Theresa May for trying to forge links with the US government, regardless of who is in power. That is, that's the nature of international diplomacy. But it also means that if we are truly to be, as it were, friendly critics, if I can use that phrase, of the US government, then the British government surely should not refrain from doing that.
Well, Theresa May, of course, has given friendly criticism to President Trump already in various ways, and I'm not against being candid with our allies, but there is a difference in diplomacy between candid criticism given in a polite and private way and the kind of megaphone diplomacy which is more concerned with grandstanding and virtue signalling in this country for domestic political gain.
I think he sat down when he heard the words Nigel Farage being uttered in the chamber. The master of megaphone diplomacy, somebody who is Donald Trump's representative on earth at the moment. From my perspective, the words I have chosen, I believe, have been appropriate, and I think they are self-evident to most people in Britain. As I said yesterday, if circumstances change, the circumstances around the visit may well change as well, although given the events of the last few days and well, members can make their own mind about what's been happening in the US. We still have no real clarity on what it means even for British passport holders, despite what Boris Johnson said yesterday. I think there are issues for the Prime Minister. First question is, when did she know about this? If it was Friday, did she make representations? When did she know about the conditions that were attached to the executive order? And if so, did she make representations for British citizens and British passport holders? Why, when she was asked about the order, did she simply say, well, this is a matter for the US? If it had been any other country, she would not, I believe, have made that response. Why did it take so long for Boris Johnson to get on the phone to clarify the position, even though it appears it's not quite as clear as he has suggested in Parliament? These are all questions, I think, that the Prime Minister has to answer. Of course, we have to have a relationship with the US government. Of course, we will continue our relationship with the US businesses who invest in Wales. Wales is open to US business, but that does not mean that we should say nothing about policies that are put in place with which we disagree. We have not done that with countries like China. We have not done that with countries like Russia. It is right then that we should also make our views known when we disagree with something that the US does, rather than be quiet and sit in the corner. That I believe is not the right way for the UK to conduct its affairs.